morning, this is Kelly Jean with Adult and Teen Services, and tonight we're going to take a look at the graphic design software Canva, and we're going to use it to create some photo cards using our own family photos or stock images in order to create photo cards that you can use this holiday season or all year round. So let's take a look at photo cards with Canva.
So the first thing you're going to need to do is sign up for or log into a Canva account. If you've never signed up for a Canva account before, it's really easy. All you need is an email, and it is completely free for the base software. Now, Canva does have a couple of subscription tiers. So with free, it does come with a couple of restricted functions and access. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and log in using my email. And this is going to be what Canva looks like when you log in. So you can see right away, I'm on a personal account. And right here, there's a little crown. And you can see that on some of the business functions like branding and the content planner. And those are pro and premium functions. So anytime you see either a crown or a dollar sign, which is pretty self-explanatory, it's going to be stuff that is either paid for or it's going to be things that are subscription only. One of the functions, for instance, that is subscription only is going to be the resizing feature. So you want to make sure that when you start with a template today, you are using the right dimensions for what you're trying to design. So in addition to the free, there's the pro and premium, but there's also a free version for educators and for nonprofits. So if that applies to you, that may be something you want to look into. But if you're not a business, the free account is going to give you pretty much everything that you need. The last thing to mention is there is some one design use license fees where if you find a template or a stock image that you really like and you want to use it for non-commercial purposes like sending a holiday card, you can pay a one-time fee for that and then you have access to that design. Just make sure that your design is complete before you download and pay, because every time you download, you do pay for it again. But that's a nice way to find kind of graphics that you really like and still use them without having to pay for a whole subscription. All right, so now that we know a little bit about how Canva is set up, let's learn how to use it. So Canva is basically a graphic design software that's meant to be really user-friendly. So you don't need to know a lot about graphic design. You don't need to have any like drawing expertise or anything like that, like you might with Illustrator. It's a little bit easier to use than Publisher. And they have tons of templates that you can use as well. So the first thing we're going to do today is just look at some of our templates. So when we go here, you can see that there's templates, and when you have a project, you can also search through the projects that you've already designed here. But since we're starting from scratch, we're going to go into templates. The other way to create a new design is up in the corner here, this purple square that says create a design, and that will give you something completely from scratch. But let's start by just looking for photo cards. Now, by watching this video, you guys do qualify for one free print with our digital media lab of your one-sided 6x4 or 4x6 card. So make sure that whatever you're designing is going to be in the correct dimensions. So I'm going to do photo card and then 6x4. And it even gives us the option for a Christmas photo card. I'm going to click on this one just so it can show you a few more templates. But there's a running joke with my family. We never actually have Christmas cards, not because we don't celebrate Christmas, but because we're always late, and so it ends up being a New Year's card. So no matter what you celebrate during the winter or any day of the year, you can use these templates. You'll just want to change your search parameters a little bit. So the first thing I notice when I come in here is over in format, we don't have the right dimension selected. So I want to switch over to 6x4 and only look at the designs that qualify for 6x4. Now you can see in a couple of these, there's a little icon that contains paid elements. So that's something to be aware of. That would be that one design use license fee that I was talking about earlier. So if you want something that's completely free, you want to look for something that doesn't have that there. You can choose from any of these templates if you like, or you can design one from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to use the Create Design function to create your own Christmas card from scratch. So up here, we'll hit Create Design. We're going to do a custom size, and I'm going to go to inches, and I'm going to do a 6 by 4 and create a new design. All right. So this is my template here. Now I can also search for more templates over here, and I can use the same keywords that I was using before, and it'll show my options over here. So here is a couple of photo cards, and if I wanted a holiday version, then I can just add that to my, and it'll give me more festive options. This, of course, works for graduations and for other events as well. So here you see the little crown. That means that this template is not included. All right, earlier I mentioned that there is usually a New Year's card for my family. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this template. Now, depends on if you want to make it for the upcoming year or if you are celebrating the last year, but I'll show you how to change that frame as well. Now these come with stock images in them, so let's show you how to change that. We're going to go to Uploads. I'm going to upload some photos of my family, and I'm going to do that from the computer, but you also have the option of importing it directly from Google Photos, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to go to Upload Files. And I'm going to input some pictures that I have from this year. All right, and those are going to upload. And I can take those once they're uploaded. I can take those and just drag and drop them into my different templates here. Now, I don't have the best photos for this particular template, but I just want to show you how that works so that you can see it's as easy as dragging and dropping. All right, and then if I wanted to move them around, I just double click, and then I can adjust the photo for the frame. So since we're heading into 2023, what I want is a different frame. So I'm going to look for frames. You see this little heart here? It's going to give us a type of element, which is the tab that we're using right here, that is a photo frame. So that's what we can use for the drag and drop, where it will automatically sort your image into, it'll try to make it the right size for the frame that you're working on. So it'll input it. That's nice if you are using it as a design element. Now we want to change it to a 3, so I'm just going to search for a 3 frame. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. And then there's these little circles on the corner just to drag them out. All right, and I want it to be right about the same size. Okay. And then I can reposition it as well. So I'm going to send it to the back just so it's easier to click on my 2. I'm going to delete that and replace it with the 3. All right, so none of my photos really worked well for this. So the other thing I can do is look for stock images, and that's going to be under Elements. I'm going to go out of Frame. So this year we bought a house. So let's look at buying a house. Right, and that's going to bring me up a couple of different types of elements. Now, elements are sorted into graphics, photos, videos, and audio. Now, for this instance, what I want is a photo. So I can click on that and take a look, see if there's like a cute stock image that kind of communicates what we did this year. And all right, I like this one, so I'm going to grab that one and slide it in. All right. But you can do that for whatever kind of represents to help you fill in your story here. Let's see, what else could we do? If you have wedding photos, it would be really great for that. But if you just need like a filler, just a celebration photo, you can even just go to celebrate and take a look, and you can make them all just sort of glittery. Now, one thing you'll notice with the ones that I'm using right now, you see the crown over on the side. Oop, there we go. And then it gives us a watermark over there so that you can tell right away when something is a paid for product. So if I were to try to go and download this right now, it's going to tell me that I need to pay for it. Let's see. So I have 4 premium images, so I can either start a trial or I can pay for those images. All right. So those are how you change your photos and your frames. Let's create a different one and take a look at some other options. Okay, so this one would be great. This one's got family highlights on it. So that's perfect for using it in place of basically a family newsletter, which I know a lot of people like to do around the holidays. You can also see these watermarks that right now what we have in here are paid for images. So let's take a look at how we can adjust this in order to make a design that fits us better. So right away, I already have my images, so I can just drag and drop those in. All right. And now I can play with the text. So the first thing I'm going to change is it's the name and the year. Now, because my name is a little bit longer, it takes up more space. So I can highlight that, and up in the corner is where we can adjust our text size. I'm just going to start with the size for now. All right. And then here I can put in stuff about our family for the Christmas letter. So this year we bought a house. I read over 100 books. We bought a car. And you can see that in the images here. And then you can put whatever information is relevant to your family. So we saved every dog on the planet and closed all animal shelters forever. All right. It's all right to have a little fun. You might want to have something that's a little bit more relevant. All right, so I've got some text in here. I've got some images, and I can play a little bit with the format. So the first thing I can do is I can see these fonts are all going to be group fonts. So that means that as I adjust their size, they're going to remain all together and they're going to move as a group. But if I wanted to make some changes, I could ungroup my text. And so I can move this, for example, a little bit closer to center it up. And this is going to give us some guidelines. You can see right here, it tries to snap it in place. It'll tell you how far away things are so you can make things nice and even and make sure that your card is centered. So I'm just going to give us a little bit more space here. And if you want to select more than one element, you can hold down Shift as you select things and click on them. Or you can drag and select. So I'm going to center that up so I can see that there is the same amount of space between my top and my bottom. And if I want to make adjustments to the template, I can also change the font. So up here we have the name of the font, and to the side there's also a column for text. So in the column for text, or excuse me, the tab for text, there's a couple of different pre-made things that you can edit. These are really high graphics. These are really more designed for businesses, and you can see a lot of them fall under that premium account. But it gives you the option of creating different types of text size and text boxes over here. But since what we're doing is just adjusting something that's already here, I'm just going to go to the top here and look at our options. So I want it to feel a little bit more fancy. So I can look at some of these collections and see if there's something that's a little bit more fitting, like elegant. See, so elegant gives me some different options for text that I can play with as well. So I like that one there. And then at the bottom, it gives me the option of just changing the one that I was selecting, or I can change all of the fonts that were the same so that it does it all together. So that can save you a little bit of time. All right. The other thing I can do is look for keywords that have to do with kind of the feeling of the text I'm looking for. So if I wanted, like it gives us the option of trying calligraphy, or another way of doing that is script. It's going to bring up all of the options for different types of scripts as well. So that's illegible for the all capitals, which is this little button up here. It's giving me all uppercase, so I can change that to be adjusted. But I still don't really like that one. So you can see that when this was input, some of these were already capitalized. So I'm just going to make this correct here. So if you hold down the caps button when you type it in, you can't just toggle between all uppercase and lowercase, but now that it's in the correct form, that button I was showing you earlier can give us regular or all caps. All right, let's see. Okay, I like that one, but it's a little bit small. So again, I have the option of either using the plus to increase my size, or I can drag that box as well. All right. And I want to change this to the one that I just used. So let's see. Usually it'll show you recent. Okay, there we go. So up here above, it's going to show you your like recently used ones. So I can select the different scripts that I have recently played with. All right, and then I can change my text however I want. Then the last thing I'm going to show you how to do is changing the color of different elements. So when we were over here, we used photos, but you can also use different kinds of graphics. So if I wanted to highlight, I mentioned dogs. So let's get a cute little graphic of a dog here. We got a little corgi. So I can add him to my image right here. And I can change the colors of that graphic because there are colors up top. If you can't change it, if it's set, it won't show you these colors up top. It won't allow you to edit it, but this one I can. So I can make the dog match things that are already in my images. It pulls out some colors here. But the other thing I can do is select a new color using this color wheel up here, or I can go to the dropper. So if I wanted the pink for the dog's tongue to match a pink that I already have in the photo, I can do that by selecting the dropper and then clicking where I want to grab the color from. All right. And we can do the same thing for the background, which right now is red. I want to make it a little bit more maroon, so I can change that to more of a wine color. Up here, these are ones that have already been selected, and these are, they have the watermark on them, so these might even be paid. So I can just remove them if I don't want them as part of my image, and just move some stuff around until I'm happy with the way it looks. All right, so maybe I move my little graphic here and I change the size of my text. All right. It also gives you the option of changing the orientation. Right. Okay, so that's how we can adjust templates in order to create a photo card. All right, so let's do a quick recap. We're back to templates here. So if at any time you decide that you don't like the template you've chosen, you can look at the templates over on the side and change your page, add it to your page, or look for different keywords in order to find what you're looking for. So let's say I wanted to do this one instead. It'll give me the template, and then I can just drag and drop as well. All right. So we got our templates, which are going to stay in the size that we created. We have our elements, which is going to give us different kinds of frames and photos. And then we can upload our own photos, which is important for creating a photo card. We can add or change text with this template. And then we can also look at our created projects over here as well. There are some other apps that you can play around with that connect through Canva. So if you have all of your information like on Google Drive, you can import that. Or if you have a holiday newsletter that you want to add, you can generate a QR code and have people scan that to go read your letter online if there's somewhere that you want to direct it that you don't quite have the space for. All right, so you can change templates, you can change your text groups, you've got frames, backgrounds, and your different elements. So that is the basics of Canva. Now we've created one that I like. All right. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to show you, and that's for editing images. So for images, there's going to be a couple of different filters. So if I wanted all of these to be a little bit more matchy, I could make them all black and white as well. All right. So that is another thing you can do for photos. There's a couple of different types of filters there, but that is an option that's pretty common for this type of card. All right, I like where we're at now, so I'm going to show you what your next step would be. So now that I've created an image that I like, I'm going to go to Share Design, and I'm going to download it. Now, Canva does offer to print your design right from your template here. And in a minute, I'm going to show you kind of some price points for Canva versus other places that you can get your cards printed at. But for now, I'm just going to download it as if I was going to bring it to another service in order to get it printed. So I'm going to go to Download, and I want a PNG. A PDF would be more for like flyers or handouts. You can also do a JPEG, but PNG is really nice for more complex images like what we're making here. Now, I only want the design that we created with the puppy in it, so I'm going to go just select page 2, and then I will download. All right, and it's going to take a second to download, and then I would transfer that to wherever I'm going to get my prints from. Now, one of the nice things about Canva is it's designed to be a digital format. So this would be really great if what you want to design is an e-card, which would be completely free. You can just email this card out to the people on your list, and it'll be a really high quality one. Now, in Canva, another option that you may want to consider for sending a photo card is a postcard. Now, for the free version of Canva, you can't just directly resize. You can see that there is a resize button up here, but it's got that crown on it. So if you create a design and you decide that you want to change the dimensions, or if you want to go from landscape to portrait or anything like that, you can copy paste it into another design, but it's not going to hold the same dimensions. Whereas the resize feature, the paid for feature as part of the subscription, it will do its best to keep all the dimensions the same and resize it into a different function, or into a different design, which is a really nice function. So let's go back to the beginning and take a look at postcards. Postcards are really nice because they are a little bit cheaper to send out, and you don't need to pay for an envelope, which is helpful. Now you'll notice right away that postcards are usually set up with a line down the middle. Now, the rule for postcards is all of your address information needs to be on one side and all of your correspondence information needs to be on the other side. Now, we have an example here where they wrote kind of a standardized message, and then all you would have to do is write down your addresses on this line here, which is convenient, saves a little bit of time. So if you had like a newsletter or some kind of message that you wanted to send universally, you don't want it on the front, you can put it on the back, or you can leave this blank and then write your personalized notes. This is really nice for thank you notes and for save the dates as well. Now, for a postcard, you do need to get it printed on at least cardstock because it needs to be a little bit thicker in order to go through the mail correctly. You can check out information about postcards at the post office as well. They will tell you exactly what you need. But the front, you have no restrictions. You can make whatever design you want. And on the back, you just need to make sure that you have down the center, nothing graphically, none of your universal, anything that you put on here should impede the right-hand side where the address and the stamp will go. The design that I just made, I'm going to copy it. So I'm using the shortcut Control-C. I'm going to copy it to the first page. All right, and you can see that the dimensions are a little bit off. So I'm going to center it, change my background, and then I'm going to shrink my group a little bit. All right, and that's how I would turn it into a postcard. Okay, so to save a little bit of time, I could put my return address right at the top. And then instead of these lines, I could do a message. So I'm going to go ahead and use, so you can see this like already created text as well. All right, so I could put a universal back and then I could make this text match the front. Okay, then when I print this out, all I would need to do is include the address information on the back. And the process for getting that printed is going to be the same. I will go to Share, Download, and Print. Okay, so I just showed you how to make a 6x4 and how to make a postcard. So let's talk about what our next step would be, which is getting it out to people. So I mentioned an e-card or a digital format is going to be free. It can be any size, and then you don't have to be restricted to the Canva templates that are just the 4x6 or 6x4 or the 7x5, which are kind of the standardized card settings. You can do kind of whatever you want, and it'll send in an email really nice and clean, and Canva keeps those images and graphics really crisp. Now, a couple other places that you can go to get your images and cards printed are Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. You can print them at the Digital Media Lab in the library. You can get them printed at Costco. Canva does have a print service. And then there's a website called Zazzle as well. So here is a little bit of a price breakdown for what it would cost to get a 6x4 or a 4x6, depending on if you're doing landscape or portrait, printed based on information available on different websites. Now, I can't guarantee that all this is going to be up to date. And of course, it's important to note that as we head into the holiday season, there are often a lot of sales, as people know that this is exactly what folks are looking for. And some of these places are going to be a little bit cheaper up front, but they might require a minimum. So the best thing to do is just kind of shop around and look for different options. I like Zazzle. It's what I used for all of my wedding suite, which is going to be my invites, my RSVPs, save the dates, stuff like that. Everything I had printed through Zazzle, and some things for the shower and whatnot. I liked it. I designed everything in Canva, and then I went to Zazzle to get it printed. And part of the reason that I like it, not only is their upload and design software really user-friendly, you have more editing capability than Walmart, Walgreens, or CVS, who want you really to use either just straight image printing or their templates. They don't really have a workspace to kind of edit things. But they also do a lot of sales. Every couple of weeks, they'll do up to a 50% off sale. I don't think I paid full price for a single thing I did. I think I just always, knowing in advance that I was doing this, I had everything designed and ready to go, and I waited for the 50% off sale. And I also did postcards for my RSVPs to save a little bit on postage and envelopes. And I did the universal back that we were just talking about, which saved me a lot of time, made for really easy mailing. Now, for watching this video and designing a card in Canva, you guys are going to get one free print at the library. Photos are by appointment only, so make sure to call our digital media lab, get a hold of Sam or someone in creative services to schedule that, and you can get a free one-sided 4x6 or 6x4 print of your Canva design.
All right, thank you for joining us tonight for Photo Cards with Canva. We hope that you learned a little bit of something and were able to create a card that you really love. This idea came to us through a patron program survey. So if you guys enjoyed this or have ideas for other kinds of programs you'd like to see the New Lenox Library create, make sure to fill out those post-program surveys to let us know what you guys are thinking and what you are looking for in order to provide better programs for our community. All right. Enjoy the rest of your holiday season, and we'll see you at the library soon.